Just readjusting my setup, folks. How you doing? Welcome to Quoth Raven News by Raven for Monday, June 7th, 2021. Monday Comics Reviews. I'm your host, Lewis By Raven, 29-year comics writer, artist, and editor, and also work in role-playing games and other entertainment media. Hope you're doing well this week. Before we get started, I have to do a notice that I usually do, and that's in accordance with the new copyright regulations. This episode of Quoth the Raven is intended for ages 16 and up. While some of the content we'll feature is kid-friendly, the context of the episode is to address adults and inform them of said content. Further into research, as consumers and servers of our youth, in other words, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers, librarians, etc., there is the possibility of adult language present on the episode as well, rated TV 16 and up. And one of our regulars, John North, says hello. How you doing, John? Hope you're having a good day today so far. Hope it's not pouring down rain in your part of town as bad as it is here. But it's been something of a day. We're going to review some comics, and then we're going to open up a new thing I got in the mail just now, like literally 5 minutes ago. So that'll be kind of cool to see what I got in the mail. And Mark Andrew Smith says hello as well. And John says, oh, it's pouring here too. Okay. I figured it would be. It's a bummer. All righty, Lynn. Let's go ahead and get right into our reviews for the day then. We'll start with Batman: The Adventures Continue, Season number 2, Issue number 1, $3.99. Publisher DC Comics. Writers are Alan Burnett and Paul Dini. Artist is Ty Templeton. The colors is Monica Cabina. The genre is superhero. Released June 1st, 2021. What it's about: Mayor Hamilton Hill is murdered by the Talon of the Court of Owls. It's up to Batman and Deadman to team up and stop Talon before he murders again. My thoughts is if only the real Batman Detective Comics were regularly written by these two guys or other writers from the animated series, drawn by mainstream artists whose styles I actually liked, I could actually enjoy the regular titles again. As it is, I'll take this, and they can have 5 stars. They say ages 13 and above because it's a little bit darker toned than their usual fare for the animated style comic books with the murder and such going on. But I think a savvy 10-year-old with a parent who actually cares about what their kids read will be fine with it myself. So I recommend it for ages 10 and up. I give it 5 stars. Let's take a look at the art. Deadman zips past as the Batmobile rushes. And of course, they're covering up the body of Mayor Hamilton, and it's being explained that that his wife saw the attack, and it kind of looked like Batman, but with glowing big eyes. And Batman's looking at different things around different evidence and stuff like that. So, kind of a cool thing there. And Batman kind of notices that he's there, but doesn't do anything about it. Later in the story, he's talking to Veronica Vreeland, or she's trying to call Bruce as Bruce Wayne. He shows up as Batman. He's investigating the Court of Owls, and because he's investigating the Talon attacks the Vreelands, a Deadman possesses Veronica and tries to defend Veronica and her father as possessing Veronica's body. And then Batman arrives and the fight begins. It's a cool story so far. I didn't think I would like it because I'm not a big fan of the Court of Owls, but so far this has been pretty good. I think it just has to do with the writers more than anything else. Mark Andrew Smith says, nice. I hope there is bubble wrap to pop. Well, I don't know. I don't think there will be, but I can always go get some out of the other room if you're that desperate. I know you're joking. Did Armand just move from Arizona to Denver, Mark? I thought I caught that on his social media. Or is he just visiting Denver? Anyway, I'll wait for Mark to. Oh, he wants to move. He's visiting, but he wants to move there. Okay. Well, I don't know. Beasts of Burden, Occupied Territory number 3, $3.99 is our next book from publishers Dark Horse. Writers are Evan Dorkin and Sarah Dyer with art by Benjamin Dewey. The genre is supernatural horror, released June 2nd of 2021. And what it's about, Emery's the wise sheepdog and his companion dog Mullins join forces with the Shuba Anus dogs, Makoto and Yuna. That's the 2 dogs on the cover. Makoto made the pack that we of Shuba Anus dogs that we'd seen in the previous issue, but it turns out that was an illusion that he created magically to try and scare Emery's and Mullins from entering a demon's cave. After escaping the demon, the 4 call upon other animals and spirits to try and band together to stop the supernatural plagues that Emery's has been investigating. But the other animals aren't interested because it's only affecting the humans, and so they decline to aid them. After the other animals leave, our heroes are attacked by the very demons that they're investigating from earlier issues in the story. The dogs manage to drive them off with their mystical abilities, but Mullins, the only normal dog in the group, gets bitten, and even though Emery's does try to heal him, it appears that Mullins dies at the end of the issue. My thoughts. Excellent issue, perfect pacing, well set up. I think most readers knew Mullins wasn't going to be along for the world from the last issue, but Dorkin and Dyer do a great job of making the character matter so that readers can potentially emotionally invest in him. Benjamin Dewey, the artist, is really firing on all cylinders. I think it's a shame that he had to stop doing Autumn Lands with Kurt Busiek over at Image years back, but I think this book is really where he's found himself and really hit his stride as an artist. Recommended for ages 13 up. I give it 4.5 stars. And here's some of the artwork where the spider demon women shoot them with the webs. Makoto creates spider monkeys with his magic to try and pull the webbing off of them. Emery's is the one who builds the fire ring. And then one of the vampire heads, of course, gets Mullins. And then Yuna does an earth vortex and gets rid of the enemy. But you can see there's a webbing that trapped Mullins in place, and he was bitten in the leg. And of course, Memories does try to do his healing magics, but doesn't seem to do too well. Our next book is Deep Beyond number 5 for $3.99. Publishers Image Comics. Writers are Mirka Andolfo and David Goy, with artists by Andrea Riccardo and colors by Barbara Nocenzo. Genre is science fiction. Released June 2nd, 2021. What it's about. Jolene and her teammates encounter an alien species when they travel through a mysterious portal. Paul finds himself in a compromising position, and then the events of the previous 3 hours are reviewed, meaning the issues before they got where they're at. Meanwhile, Jolene, Hermes, and Lucas are imprisoned by the border militia into the new dimension. Hermes relates his knowledge of their captors as they explore the oddities of their holding area, which makes them like, if you put your arm through the wall, it'll appear in the wall behind you. It's really weird dimensional thing going on. When they are confronted by mysterious beings, well, not mysterious beings, but the entities that captured them, Jolene makes a dangerous decision. She tries to break free and escape, only to find out that she's kind of like stuck where they're at. Later, the trio is surprised by some unexpected companions. Some of the other people that they thought were dead in earlier episodes are alive and well on the other side. Elsewhere, even Caesar's decision or discussion leads to a shocking revelation. The chapter is filled with world building content, mostly because they're basically introducing you somewhat to the interdimensional Earth in this issue. And Dolphin and Goy are doing an excellent job of crafting the narrative of the inhabitants of the new Earth. But the episode is limited on action. It's high in intensity because of the emotional intensity of the characters, but as far as action, it's pretty low key. As the story reveals itself, there's much more characterization going on than anything else. And you're left with a lot of questions. How long has this new Earth been around, and what exactly is its connection to our Earth? Ricardo does very well with the character features, especially facial expressions. That's something that can be a stumbling block for many comics artists. But he does a really good job at creating emotive faces. The color palette is muted in much of the book, and that serves the story very well also. There are some adult things going on, like Paul's situation. I didn't care for that part of the book in the beginning of the book. It's not that it's inappropriate. This is a 16 and up book. I just thought it was weird, or like, I don't know. I'm not going to show it, but they show him basically being open. His head's severed from his body, sitting in a bubble, and his body's open like an autopsy, with the wide split of the chest, and they're like looking at the organs, the aliens are or something, and it's like, what? But he's still alive, and it's like, okay, whatever. But anyway, it's kind of not what I wanted to see for a comic necessarily, but okay. It's recommended for 16 and up, 3.5 stars. And this is where the characters are locked in their little cell. And as you can see, he reaches through the one arm and comes out the other side. And she does the same. This is when they escape, and she tries to escape, and she gets out where she thinks is the outside, and then realizes, oh crap. Everything's blocked out because it's all cuss words on that page. But it is what it is. It's not a bad episode, or a bad issue, rather. I tend to use those words transversely lately. I don't know why, but it's overall still above average comic. So we'll keep reading it. Our next book is Dryad number 10, $3.99. Publishers Only Press. Writer is Curtis Wiebe. Artist is Justin Barcelo. The color is Francesco Segala. Genre is fantasy. Released June 2nd, 2021. The twins finally find their destiny and meet the entity from the Vahiri and release it to renew magic in their world once more, as their parents Morgan and Yale try to find them and stop them, and Comgan, the scientists who experimented on them to begin with and got them in touch with magic before they fled the realm at the beginning of the story from doing this. My thoughts are a nice closure to the story arc. I have to admit, though, that I would prefer the series would go straight to trades instead of singles, which it seems it might be doing if the advertising in the back of the issue is any indication. It advertises both the second arc, Trade Volume 2, and then says next part, Volume 3, coming in 2022. So maybe they're going to go straight to the trade. I don't know. I didn't scan the artwork on this one. It's not bad art by any means. I just was rushed for time, and I don't have it right by me. So we're just going to go on to the next book. But you know, if the book does go in singles, I'm probably going to pass on it because I'm losing interest in the story. And there's so much stuff out there I haven't read yet that this is my stop if they aren't going to go straight to trades. I don't want to wait and then have people try and spoil the story on me ahead of time. And I just, you know, of course, that doesn't mean that the book's bad or that you guys, I'm not dissing the book in any way. I hope the story progresses and people do continue to read the series or maybe check out the trades and become new readers. Recommended for ages 16 and up, 3.5 stars. Now we'll go on to the next one, which is Everfrost #1, $3.99. Publisher is Black Mask Studios. The writer is Ryan K. Lindsay with art by Sammy Cavella. I think that's how he pronounces his last name. Colorist is Lauren Affey. Genre is science fiction adventure, post-apocalyptic type stuff. And it's released June 2nd, 2021. What it's about? Well, it's a bit confusing. The story is set in a dystopic future where the top half of the world was destroyed when a god, and I put that in quotations, from the star hit the earth and decomposed on our soil. Our protagonist, that's the female on the cover, Van Louise, accompanied by her companion 8, the monkey with some weird technology that makes his tail ridiculously long and cybernetic looking and gives him AI speech abilities, is researching the species that frequent this god's corpse. That much sort of makes sense. Then it gets confusing. She's attempting to get off her planet, which is embroiled in a war, or so we think. There's some discussion from her, and we're dropped into a battle scene in the comic, but things are never quite explained as to what's going on. But beyond it, there's two groups who hate each other: the Bloom and the Warlords of the Ward. We're not even told which side she may have belonged to, if she did. So she's also a bit alone, having to deal with the death of her son, which is shown in flashbacks. Things are hinted at, but never quite explained enough. The concept is good, but it bounces all over, taking the focus off of the more interesting aspects. Van Louise is an interesting character. She's clearly haunted by her past, and she's focused on her mission of getting off planet. But why is she trying to get off planet, other than she seemingly hates both the Bloom and the Warlords of the Ward? And 8, her talking monkey pal, isn't really explained either. He's just kind of brushed off in a paragraph where Van Louise explains that he just appeared at one point in the past, and she didn't ask too many questions. And that kind of typifies as a microcosm of the series, or of the issue, rather, as a whole. The concepts and characters are interesting, but the plot of the story is so disjointed that you really don't get enough info about anything. Not Van herself, not the world and the why, or why it is the way it is. There's a crazy level of potential in this book, and maybe as the comic progresses, things will be better explained as the story moves. But for now, recommended 16 and up, and it's an average book, 3 stars. I'm being generous. I've seen a lot of other people make the same complaints about the book, about it being confusing and not really being able to make heads or tails of what's going on. So if we dropped it down to a 2.5, it would not be an unreasonable rating. Let's look at the art. This is one of the battle scenes where the Bloom and the Ward are fighting each other. And then this is Van and the Monkey 8 eating at a fire, and she has a flashback to when her partner kills her son. Anyway, next book, Green Lantern number 3, $4.99. Publisher is DC Comics. Writer is Jeffrey Thorne. Artists are Dexter Soy for the first. It's not Dexter Soy, I don't think. Okay. It says Dexter Soy and Marco Sanchuki, but I don't think that's the artist on this. Our colors are by Alex Sinclair, covered by Bernard Chang and Alex Sinclair. Genre is science fiction, political drama, and superhero. Released June 1st, 2021. There's 2 stories going on. The first half is John Stewart on a planet where he wakes up only to find all of his fellow Lanterns are missing, possibly even dead. Strangely, this does not seem to concern him as far as where the other Lanterns are. After settling in with an alien woman and her daughter, the pirates that he and the other Green Lanterns fought in issue number 1 are back. And he doesn't have his power ring because it was more or less disintegrated for no explanation of all. As he got into this part of the galaxy or whatever. So, of course, he goes off to face him anyway and gets shot. And that's where they leave it. They go to the second story, where in the far sector Green Lantern, Jamaline is heading up the investigation of the attack on Oa and the apparent destruction of the Green Lantern power battery. We see updates on Teen Lantern and Simon Vaz, and eventually I presume the trio will be teamed up as the story progresses. Joe sends a report out to all surviving Lanterns, telling them to stay away from Oa until she's figured things out, because she wants whoever was behind the destruction of Oa to think that she's the only active Lantern left so that they'll come after her. This doesn't quite make sense to me because they already shown how everybody knows John Stewart and his group left for a different sector of space to investigate what was going on. They had their power rings, so why would anybody assume she's the only active Lantern left? That didn't quite ring true to me. The only difference, of course, is that her ring isn't reliant upon recharging in the same way as everybody else's. Anyway, she sends a message, and of course, we see Hal Jordan receiving it at the end of the issue. Once again, this is Jeffrey Thorne keeping Hal on the sidelines to focus on these other characters, which I don't have a problem with, but I'm sure plenty of idiot fanboys who are complaining about the fact that it's a black writer writing with black characters and Hal Jordan's the only true Green Lantern and blah, 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 will bitch, and they can go F off. Thoughts. Again, I don't care for Mulaney's logic with trying to present herself as the only active Lantern. Didn't quite make sense. And I would have liked to have seen a little more explanation of goings on with the Stewart story, but I presume that it will get clarified either next issue or the next 2 issues based on the pacing of the storyline. And it is still the best GL series I've seen in ages. It's rated 13 and up with a rating of 3.5 stars. Let's look at some of the art. If this is Dexter Soy, I could have sworn this was Tom Rainey. I credited it to Tom Rainey. It looks like Tom Rainey art to me. I don't know. But anyway, maybe it's Dexter Soy. I don't know. And this is Marco Santucci for the second half of the storyline. Sorry, my monster, the fur ball, has arrived. He wants to make up because he got himself in trouble earlier. He went and clawed me again, and I gave him a nail trimming, and you would have thought that I was committing mass murder the way he acted. It was so bad that my dad was outside the house and he could hear the cat from outside screaming. Kitties do not like their claws being trimmed. All right. So anyway, again, I do like the Green Lantern book. What we're seeing here is Joe, that's one that's floating, talking to Teen Lantern. She's worried about Simon, who got really badly injured in the previous issue. She thinks it's her fault, but Simon's okay, and she realizes that Simon's walking around. And okay, cool. Let me go. As long as the kid's got her head screwed on straight, type thing, we'll just go ahead and move on and get on with my job type scene here. Our next book is Jenny Zero Number 2 for $3.99. Publisher Dark Horse. Writer David Dwonk and Bracton McKinney. Artist is Magenta King. There's a new colorist this issue. Goes by Dam. And I do mean D-A-M, not the cuss word. A genre is superhero and science fiction action adventure. It was released June 2nd, 2021. Like I said, I had to try and put all these together really, really quick today. I've been very busy today. What it's about. Last issue, Jenny was zapped by her own colleagues in the Action Science Police Force under orders from her uncle while she was in the midst of a battle with a kaiju monster in the middle of Los Angeles, which made her turn into a giant kaiju herself. We learned this issue that her father had superpowers, and she had latent powers that her uncle deliberately tried to make manifest when he ordered the shot. Now that it's known, and she didn't even know she had the genetic potential for this herself, she's angry and ticked off that everybody, that she wasn't told the truth. And of course, everybody in the States now blames her for the damage in Los Angeles, even though she's the one who stopped the monster. And of course, now she's deemed a threat, and that forces the Action Science Police, gives the Action Science Police, ASP, cause to bring her in. And I think that's cool that acronym is the acronym is ASP there, because they're all snakes anyway, proverbially, especially her uncle. Fortunately for Jenny, her best friend gets her out of the holding cell for questioning, and they take some time away. But Jenny knows that they're manipulating her and that they want her for experimentation and who knows what else. And now the world hates her for her unintentional part of the damages caused in the kaiju attack on Los Angeles. So when the ASP come looking for her, she's gone. But she took her father's dog with her, and her uncle knows that this means something specific as to where she's headed, and that's exactly what he wants her to do. My thoughts? Well, given that the book is mature readers, it's going all right. As I commented when I reviewed number 1 last time, about a month ago, the book really isn't what I expected or wanted it to be, but that doesn't mean it's not. Just because it's not what I wanted it to be doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just means I have to judge it for what it is. And it's moving along decently enough. There are some plot holes. Why would everyone hate her for fighting a kaiju when it's been established she was a popular kaiju fighter and defeating kaijus in Japan prior to this, and had just come to the States to retire from it. So I don't think that would be, unless they're going to try and spin control it to make it her fault through the media, with the uncle manipulating that, which they didn't show, but they could easily do, I suppose. I just don't think that would be the case. I don't think that America would hate her necessarily. And if she was already had all this potential. I would have thought that the uncle would have tried to subject her to um, some sort of stimulus that would have transformed her sooner. Uh, but maybe the second question will get answered before the end of the series. It is still a respectable enough series, and I will continue to read it. It is for mature readers 17 and up, and it is a 3.5-star book. Let's take a look at the art. Um, yes, there is some nudity going on there a little bit. I tried to block out what I could. Again, I blocked out the language. Um, it's like I said, it's definitely a mature reader's book. I would not let kids read this. And this is where she finds out that yeah, they knew she had the ability since she was an infant. In fact, they imply that that's why her mother died was because she used her powers and killed her mom in childbirth. Possibly. Well, they don't say it, but they're implying it with the visual. So, kind of crazy. Our next book is Out of Body number 1, $4.99. Publishers Aftershock Comics. Writers Peter Milligan, with art by Anaki Miranda and colors by Ava De La Cruz. Genre is science fiction horror. Released June 2nd, 2021. What it's about. Dan Collins is a psychologist who wakes up, and I say that in quotations. He's in the hospital, only discovers his body's in a coma after he was attacked, and his body is only going to continue to function while he's on machines. Basically, he can't talk, he can't speak. Supposedly, his eyes are open, but there's no reaction. I don't know. I would have left his eyes closed myself, but that's just me. As the story progresses, pardon me, a little bit tired today. Well, I said a long day. Um, as the story progresses, we learn, along with Dan, that his attacker is unknown, and we are introduced to a number of potential possible parties responsible for the attack. Ultimately, his lab partner and lover gives him an injection of some kind of drug. I apologize, I forget the name of it, but it's a psychotropic drug. And it sends him tripping. It apparently sends his spirit out of his body, and he can't get back into his body because his body is basically dying. Meanwhile, a psychic woman and a dark cult magician are both aware of Dan's plight, and the psychic has to stop the magician from capturing Dan's spirit, which he intends to proffer up to a demon. My thoughts are it's a solid opening issue. It gives just enough information about each player and sets up the plot while leaving enough unknown information to make readers want more. And the book offers up numerous ideas and characters who may or may not have anything to do with Dan's circumstances, and that sets up both the journey of him trying to figure out who tried to kill him, but also likely the red herrings he will come across along the way. So the book should be interesting to see where it goes. I do not like this cover, however. I thought this was going to be more of a virtual reality story with the cover design. Like his head's wrapped up in that VR helmet type thing going on, and some of this solicitation description. So I thought it was more of a thing where the story was going to be taking place in another, like the Matrix or something like that. But I don't know. It's not bad by any means, though. Definitely for mature readers. Recommended. 17 and up, 16 and up, 17 and up. 4 out of 5 stars. Here's some of the artwork. This is where his girlfriend gives him the drug. And what is the name of that drug? It's on here. It's on this page. I gotta see if I can. Nope, it's not. Let me do it. Nope, it will not let me. All right, sorry. Um, I think it's called Silochitin or something like that. But anyway, she gives him the drug. As you can see, his eyes are wide open, but he's just like staring blankly ahead. He doesn't know how long he's sitting there before the drug takes effect, but then he has his out-of-body psychotropic experience. And then he finds himself outside of his shell, and he can't get back into his body. And then he gets yanked out of the room by two forces, basically the psychic and the mage. And that's pretty much it for our reviews today. Overall, pretty decent run. Today, I went and picked up my copy of Catwoman Soul Stealer from the comic book shop. So I'll be reviewing that later this week, possibly on Wednesday, because I didn't get around to reviewing Farscape Dargo's Quest, I think it's called, or the All Summer Long, I think, by Hope Larson is what it's called. I didn't get any of that stuff read, so I'm going to try and get those three read for Wednesday. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but if not, I'll have them ready for next week's show on Monday. But in the meantime, I got this package from Little Comix. That's Warren Montgomery. Let's see what we got here. And like I said, this arrived in the mail like 5 minutes before showtime, so I have no idea what's in here, how it's packed, nothing. For all I know, I open this up and it could have that weird spinneroonie type thing with a glitter everywhere or something. Yeah, okay, come on. There we go. Put the scissors away. It's Gemini board. And it's got a little sack here with Will Comics, www.wlcomics.com. Got I guess it's a bumper sticker. Is it a bumper sticker? I don't know. I guess not. It's like a vinyl. It says, support a new world of comics, wlcomics.com. Advertising for Lo-Fi Fonts, lofifonts.com. Cool. I'll have to check that out. Always good to always look and find for more fonts. Is there more in here? Yeah, there is. Okay. There's a bookmark. Little comics. Okay, let's see what books are here. Well, we got a trading card. John Kirby Firefox. I guess that's one of his characters. We got an art sketchbook, mini sketchbook here. The Art by Me by Warren Montgomery. And another one. The Art by Me too. Those are both published by Comix Wellspring. Okay. Printed by Comix, not published, pardon me. Um, this is his 2019 sketchbook. Yeah, I like his. He's got a little bit of a manga vibe going on with some of this stuff. Um, I guess this is a face of glory instead of a hand of glory, skull of glory, maybe. I don't know. Interesting design, anyway. Um, it says human candle, so. You know. Oh, okay. Each one of them has a name on them. Okay. Um, Anadroid is the first page. And the second page as well. And then human candle. Skull plant and building a perfect human. Looks interesting. There's some Dark Side and Silver Surfer, and then Batwoman, or is it Batgirl or Batwoman? Batwoman, okay. Batwoman and Doctor Doom. Oops, sorry about that. That's some nice stuff here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll take more of a look at these a little bit later for the sketchbooks. Let's see what else is in here. We have Albatross number 6 here. No, number 8. Hillbilly number 8 from Albatross. And he's something he worked on. He's on the credits. He's probably the letterer or colorist. I am familiar with the I've seen it, but I haven't read it before. So it'll be something interesting to check out, especially this many issues into the storyline, see if they make any sense. Let's see here. Yeah, she does colors and lettering. Okay. Cool. And there's some of the work there. And it looks like a nice color palette. Lettering's respectable. So I'll look forward to reading that and seeing what comes up with that. Maybe it'll make me want to get the rest of the issues. We'll see. Magni and Warhawk Adventures. I don't know this one. These are some undergrounds. I'm suspecting. Let's see. Again, he did the color on some of this. Okay. should be interesting. There's multiple stories in this one. I don't know if I'm gonna. I'll have to review these a little bit later and see what I think of them. But I don't know. This is an interesting situation here. There's a lot of Nazi symbols in this one, and it has to do with the story taking place. I mean, it's World War II, and Adolf Hitler and everything. It's superheroes fighting in that, so it would make sense in some respects if a German hero was mistaken and thought he had to be serving that he would have a Nazi swastika on his chest, but it doesn't really reflect him as a character from what I can tell, just briefly looking at the book. So I'll definitely have to give that a more serious look. Like, this is issue number 0 from Pilot Studios. Okay. And here's a bunch of stuff in this one. Not just the comic, but all kinds of cool stuff. So I gotta pull it all out here. Got another, it's called Lightning Marvel. And there's another sketch card that fell to the floor here. There's the sketch card. And that's the same image as the cover of the book. And then there's a little cardboard print here of kind of a parody of the Hostess pie ads of the 70s, early 80s. There's 2 of those. Okay, cool. And this was a black and white comic. Okay, this is his pencils and inks as well. So interesting. I'll have to give this a little more thorough review later this week. I asked Warren if he wanted to be a guest on the show, but he said not right this week, maybe later in the future. So we'll respect that and see what we can do, and we'll talk about these and other books that he's worked on then. But I thank you, Warren, for the shipment of goodies. Appreciate it. I'll be happy to look through them and give you a little shout out in the future. Just a little more visual sharing with everyone. But looks cool. Very cool. Oh no, that's nice. He did Godzilla and King Kong and a Phantom of the Opera as well in those sketchbooks. So really cool stuff. Thank you again, Warren. I appreciate that. I'll be sure to review all that stuff as soon as I get it all read and promote. So So what else we got going on this week? Well, I had one thing planned for Friday, but unfortunately, John's not going to be with us because it's his birthday on Friday, and he's going to spend. His parents are taking him out to dinner, so that's cool with me. I respect that. So we're not going to do what I was originally going to plan. That means I'm going to be planning something else I haven't figured out just yet. On Wednesday, we will have our regular. What did you get this week? That will include all those graphic novels, Catwoman, Farscape, and all summer long. And I'll try and get those 3 reviewed, and I'll probably do a little more thorough talk about that stuff that I just got from Warren. These nice sketchbooks and comics. And we'll see what else comes in on Wednesday. Now, Thursday, I'm trying to get someone on to do a live draw with me, but so I can do a live draw, kind of like how Aaron LeBresson is doing competitive drawing, live draw or something like that, but I haven't been able to find anyone who wants to do it. So I don't know yet. I've got that one, and I've got another one with a topic I wanted to discuss, but unfortunately, the person I wanted on the show can't make it for another 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm kind of put that one on the back burner as well for obvious reasons, because it's kind of a big name talent that I'm going to have on the show, hopefully, if things work out. So they weren't there. They were pretty much out of commission for the weekend. So I'm wondering, do I keep showing the pieces from last week's vault over in addition to new material, or do I just put that last week's show, put all that stuff in the vault and just move forward? Let me know what you guys think about that, and because I don't know who all got to see it. I know John didn't. John forgot, he was busy doing other things. I know Pop Culture Avenger, who doesn't seem to be around right now. He said that he's one of the guys that got the COVID shot and was pretty much down and out Saturday. So I'm just kind of wondering what the deal is on that. I got plenty to do either way. I just need to know what I'm doing. So, I'll probably put a notice on my Facebook page as well on that. So you guys can let me know on the Facebook page as well what you guys think I should do for the next vault. What do you want, little one? I want my butt kicked. Speaking of vault sale and other stuff like that, we also have Wingman, our Lewis Brett Raven Volume 1, trade paperback. That's my sketchbook. Publishers, Constellation Studios, Genres, our historical textbook on my career between mostly from 93 to 2011, but there's some stuff in the mid 80s as well. It's 48 pages, black and white, 5x11 trade paperback. You can order it through PayPal at quotheravenlbr72@gmail.com. Regular edition, that's just signed, is $9.90. Say $20 with the shipping and handling. It's $9.95 plus 10 shipping. Personalized sketch costs $25 with shipping and handling. It's $15 plus shipping and handling. Again, PayPal to quotheravenlbr72.com, subject Wingman book. And if you want a personalized sketch of a character, let me know what character you want. I will do the sketch orders drawn live on the podcast during the live draw sessions. If you want to reach me, you can get me on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven, at Twitter at LewisBrightRave2. You can look at some more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You're watching Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven on YouTube, and today it's us running on Facebook, but the channel I run it on is YouTube mostly. And you can email me at quotheravenlbr72@gmail.com with any questions, or if you want to commission something, that's how you reach me. If I don't answer at that address, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. So I will, again, Mondays is news and reviews. Wednesdays is comics. What did you get this week? Thursdays is our roundtable talk. I'm going to probably talk to a few other people and try and get a guest tonight, or this week rather. And Friday, I did have one thing planned, but John's not going to be here. And without John here, I don't want to do that particular thing. So I'm going to wait on that. And I'll figure out what I'm doing for John tonight later this week. Saturdays, we do live draw. Sundays, I sometimes do live draw. Sometimes I don't. It depends on how tired I am. A lot of times I don't do it on Sundays. I need a day of rest. As the good Lord meant, right? So, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. And have a pleasant week, everyone.